and welcome to the South Australia State Basketball Centre, where the Adelaide Lightning host the Townsville Fire. The players are checking in thanks to Minor Hotels for the last game of round 6 of the WNBL. And while Townsville has been setting the competition on fire, the big news coming out of Adelaide is the club has parted ways with coach Karen Mitchell less than 24 hours ago, with assistant coach Georgia Crouch to take the reins tonight. On top of that, they'll unveil a new recruit in Erin Bowman against the ladder leaders. Jess Webster with you tonight alongside former WNBL Coach of the Year Laurie Chiswick and two-time WNBL champion Beck Cole. Laurie and Beck, fabulous to have the both of you here tonight. It's been a big day in the WNBL and it's perhaps an announcement that we didn't quite see coming.
I have to say I agree with you. It's never a dull moment in the WNBL and basketball, but you know, Townsville, they're right up there, they're right at the top, and so it'll be really interesting with all this tumultuous time for Adelaide in the last 24 hours to see how they actually respond.
And for the Adelaide, obviously very shocking for the basketball community, but can the girls rally together? That's going to be really important.
So for more on the announcement coming out of the Adelaide camp, our Courtside reporter Will Crouch is with their CEO, Mel McGillivray.
Well, this has been the biggest story of the WNBL so far this year, and Lightning CEO Mel McGillivray has been good enough to join us. Mel, are you able to shed some light on the decision to part ways with Karen Mitchell?
Yeah, so you've seen the statement that came out today, Will, and effective today, the club has parted ways with head coach Karen Mitchell. Is
there anything you're able to share with regards to why that decision came about?
Yeah, so this has been a tough 24 hours for the club. The club in totality, the players, the front office staff, the board and ownership. This matter has been taken with every consideration. We remain committed to driving a culture of high performance, integrity and respect.
In saying that, there were some reports on social media, which we can't always take too seriously, but they were suggesting there was it was a player-led issue. Are you able to quash that?
Sure, well, I can respect and understand the question. I can assure you and our supporters that, again, all consideration was taken when making the decision that we made, which includes the board and our ownership team. And we're united in providing an environment for our players that allows for high performance, respect and integrity.
In saying all that, basketball world moves very quickly. 24 hours after that decision, you're here playing tonight. You've got a new coach and a new import. Firstly, with the new coach, can you just tell us about that decision and what goes into doing that?
Yeah, so I think it's great that you're speaking to all the things that we're also celebrating tonight, which includes Georgia Crouch stepping up into the head coach position for this evening's game. You know, that's a really full circle and wonderful story for this club. So her father, Peter Sexton, who was an assistant coach to Jan Sterling in 1994 when the team won the championship. So I think when I was at training this morning, that was something when we talked about all the things that we're going to celebrate tonight, that was one of those things that we're celebrating. We're also celebrating a record attendance on a Tuesday night for the club, which just, again, really speaks to the incredible community that we have here in Adelaide that just continues to show up and support us in every way. And we've announced a new injury replacement player for Serena Sundell, and that's Erin Bowman. So we're really excited to see how Erin can contribute to the team.
Awesome stuff, Mel. Really appreciate your insight, really appreciate your time. A lot happening here in Adelaide, guys. Back to you.
Thanks so much, Will. That is the Lightning CEO, Mel McGillivray, speaking there on their decision to part ways with their coach, Karen Mitchell. This is their statement that came out today. We're grateful for Karen's commitment to the club and we wish her well. So they will commence a formal process to appoint a new coach. But in the interim, Georgia Crouch, their assistant, will take the reins tonight. And as Mel also mentioned, they have a new recruit tonight, 31-year-old Erin Bowman, who has been a star for NBL 1 North. She's an all-star, three-time Defensive Player of the Year and most recently played in New Zealand. But let's head back courtside to Will Crouch. And Will, it's a personal connection for you tonight because your wife Georgia gets her opportunity to coach the Lightning for the very first time. Welcome to you.
Good evening from a not quite full but very loud State Basketball Centre here in Adelaide. It is a very personal connection. My wife, a couple of days ago, going through the motions as an assistant coach for the Lightning. Tonight, after a very busy 24 hours, she is the head coach. So quite a bizarre 24 hours in our house. She's kept me out of the loop on most of it as a sport reporter. But she's actually not the only new face on the bench tonight. Tess Madgen, the former Opals captain, Olympic medalist, she's been parachuted into their bench tonight and is hopefully going to offer a wealth of experience, you'd imagine, to that reasonably inexperienced and rookie coaching staff. So that's going to be, she's going to be just an incredible addition. As I said, it's getting very loud in here. We're about to tip off, so I'll throw back to you.
Thanks so much, Will. Laurie, that was another name that we saw on the bench. Our very own Tess Madgen is going to be in the Lightning camp tonight.
Well, she is, and Tess has been involved as a special advisor for the club since it actually relaunched. So she's there to try and keep the vibes up during this very hard transition time.
So we're underway here at the South Australia State Basketball Centre. The ladder leaders, the Townsville Fire. We're going to get first possession against the 5th place Adelaide Lightning. See how the players settle in. Soa is off target for an early three-pointer, and Adelaide will take possession. So the starting fives for the Lightning: Lockridge, Talbot, Rabati, Fagan and Brazel. And for the Fire, it's Soa, Woods, Frolling, Fowler and Ellis to get us underway tonight.
There's just so many good matchups out there. Lockridge and Ellis and Talbot and Woods. I'm looking forward to that one as well.
Here is Talbot. She passed it into the head of Courtney Woods, but there's the first bucket of the night to Dallas Lockridge, who's been in fine form this season, averaging the 17 points and 4 assists per game. So it will be interesting to see how the Lightning players settle tonight. A pretty dramatic 24 hours for the club. And life doesn't get easier, but that's a great defensive play from Brazel.
And it can be quite a heavy situation for the players, so it will be important for the likes of the leadership in Steph Talbot to really get around her team. They're a young squad, and you have to play together because you're versing the top of the table right now in the Townsville Fire, and they're showing exactly with that passage of play right there. But they just need to continue to be strong, play together, and huddle every moment and opportunity you can.
Is Soa pouncing on the loose ball off the glass. It rolls in for 2. I mentioned Beck Townsville. They're not just in great form, they're in ridiculous form. They're 6-1 on top of the ladder. They've won their last 3 games by an average of 33 points. And their average margin across the whole season so far is 25.
It's so impressive no matter who they come up against. They just seem to have an answer to everything.
And this is what makes them a championship contention team, is they have, that is just way too easy. Courtney Woods going to the basket there. Split line definitely needs to make an impact early, but they have 5 people averaging double figures. So if you shut down one player, there's another one stepping up, and that's what makes a great basketball team.
Nice move, Talbot feeding Rabati.
The last time these two teams met, Townsville beat Adelaide by 34 points. Lockridge had 26 points, 3 out of 5 from the three-point wide, and 6 players, as you mentioned, Beck, had double figures for Townsville.
It was, of course, the Fire's homecoming, their first home game of the season. They went on a pretty lengthy road trip to start the year. It is Adelaide's turn to turn the tables here on their home floor, and they've been getting wonderful home crowd support. So we see an offensive foul.
And we see, again, Abby Ellis just putting her body on the line. In a post-conference interview, there was Shannon Seabohm who spoke about Ellis really being the spearhead for the defense that the Fire are putting up. And again, this is why this is such a great matchup, Laurie, of Dallas versus Abby Ellis, is they both play full court, they get up and in, and that's what starts the defensive pressure.
Frolling gets her night underway. Let's get to Will, courtside.
Guys, one to watch on the Lightning offense is Dallas Lockridge against Abby Ellis. When they last played, it was a heavy loss as Brazel misfires there, Rabati with the O-ball, but she got a lot of points in the paint, really looking to get her job done as Rabati is called for the offensive one there. But Lockridge looking to get in the paint tonight, guys. One to watch.
Certainly is. Thanks so much, Will. Good battle unfolding at the moment. Townsville have a 2-point lead early. So far, the Lightning going toe-to-toe. The ladder leaders. A couple of offensive fouls. Won't be too pleasing. Here goes Fowler, making away inside. Gets fouled as well, off the line.
Well, again, when we talk about just the last time they met that 34-point margin, Townsville had 46 points in the paint, so it was a real focus to go inside, and whether that was through pass penetration or dribble penetration, like we just saw Alex Fowler, that's where they're really focused on.
One of those players you mentioned earlier, Beck, that's averaging double figures, 10 points and 6 rebounds per game for Alex Fowler so far this season. Coach Shannon Seabom, who extended his contract during the week. He's going to stick around for a few more years.
And Fowler is just such a versatile player. She can really play 1 through 5 on offense as well as defense. That is the great thing about her. She's so strong, but then she's also got that foot speed, and she's a great 3-point shooter, but then we saw her in the possession before put it on the floor, and she's so great with off-ball cuts. She's always exactly where you want her to be.
Townsville out to a 4-point lead. Courtney Woods, another who's having a fabulous season. To Froling, cops some contact.
How great was that connection there between Froling and Woods? Woods just kept her dribble alive. Froling a re-screen, then dive to the basket. Just a really good presence between the two of them.
They just seem to be clicking so much, don't they, Laurie? You can just see they have gelled so well in this early part of the season. It's like they're just on the same wavelength. They can read each other's minds at times out there.
Well, we've talked about this before, where the fact that they re-signed a lot of their players from previous seasons, they have that chemistry already, and it makes such a difference. Then to add in the quality players of Solon Olsen, it's just really taken them to another level.
Share it around again, but Woods misfires for 3.
And the Fire have the luxury, like you mentioned, Laurie, of you bring Lucy Olsen, who's a WNBL player for the Washington Mystics, coming off the bench, injecting energy into the side, and she's really found her feet as well. And she's now averaging double figures with just over 11 points a game. So she can explode to the rim, has a great mid-range, and just another great offensive threat.
It's Fowler. Can't convert. Townsville by 2 halfway through this opening quarter. Here's Steph Talbot. It's knocked down a play by Lauren Cox, another who starts off the bench so far this season, the reigning Defensive Player of the Year. What a luxury. It's a bright start to Dallas Lockridge. 6 points already.
Well, she has, you know, as a player that's come across from Southside, is now averaging 17 points per game and is 5th in the competition. So she has really flourished in this program.
And what's good as a point guard, Laurie, you want to see your point guard, yes, get points up on the board, but she's also doing it with the assists, which you love to see when you are running the show for your team. And she's averaging just under 5 assists per game as well. So she is doing it both ways.
And that's what you want out of your point guard. So they're running the show, they're calling the plays, they're getting their teammates open, calling the right things, but also looking to be a scoring threat as well.
Scores are level here at the State Basketball Centre halfway through this opening quarter. 5th place Adelaide Lightning taking on the competition frontrunners. Good battle unfolding. Fowler looking to go inside to Cox. The referee has spotted a foul. They'll be pleased with this start, Laurie, Adelaide Lightning.
Well, I think they would be. You know, we know how potent Townsville are. I'm just a bit concerned they've got 5 fouls now. They send them to Townsville to the line every time there's a foul. So that's something they've got to make sure that they keep their hands out.
But someone I'd like to see get going for the Adelaide Lightning is Steph Talbot. She just came off a game where the Adelaide Lightning won in overtime against the Venom, where she had 32 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. Although she didn't hit her 3-point shots, we all know she can. But she was 60% from two-point land and 100% from the free throw line, making 8 from 8. So she hasn't even had a shot at the rim yet. So I'd like to see her get more shots up in positions.
On cue, she lets it fly, but just didn't quite have the finish there, Beck.
Because she does need to be more selfish in order for this Adelaide Lightning team to have scoreboard pressure. And she said in her post-game interview with Laura Hodges that for her team to be successful, she had the mindset of being more selfish, and look where that led them. So she needs to continue with that.
As a former captain yourself, Beck, how do you think Steph will be feeling tonight?
It can be a lot. As a captain, whether you go through changes like this, it's all about making sure that you keep the team together. Remain everyone positive, calm. For me, I'm letting all my teammates know, hey, I'm here if you need me. I'm a safe space. And when we go on the court tonight, we're doing this for each other. And why do we play basketball to begin with? Because it's fun, and I'm doing it with my friends. And this is what we're doing tonight.
The WNBL26 season is officially underway. See world-class athletes, fierce rivalries, and some truly epic basketball. Get all your WNBL news, info, and tickets at WNBL.com.au or scan the QR code on your screen now. Townsville with a 2-point advantage. Alex Fowler finds herself at the line.
Beck, you were just talking about how basketball's supposed to be fun, and I was at shoot-around this morning, and it's certainly been a tumultuous couple of days for the Lightning, but one thing that is clear is that this team is still really connected, and they really enjoy playing for each other. That's been the feedback all year.
Thank you, Will, and they're playing in front of a pretty vocal home crowd tonight as well.
See that the Fire have gone into a zone after a made foul shot.
Lockridge puts it up and it drops. She's got 8 points.
She's so crafty and she's so smart, Dallas. She is a smaller guard, but she keeps her dribble alive. You see Cox steps off, she has the foot speed, and she just pops that 3 ball.
It's Tofayono into the action for the Lightning. Hands it off to Lockridge. She's got the hot hand in this opening quarter. Doesn't quite have to finish. The rebound to Cox. Lightning are away through Ellis. A beautiful pass to Froling. Just so good to watch.
The timing of that pass and the execution of that pass, and that we see that over and over again from the Fire.
And it gives them a 6-point advantage as we head to a timeout here in the first quarter.
And the Fire are just so good at pick and roll actions. As we see Ellis here use the screen, Dallas gets caught, and just a nice pocket pass on the ground, and it comes right back up to Froling's chest. But I'm telling you now, Shannon Seaborn would be practicing that exact thing every single day at training, but I think that's what makes the Fire so good at the basic things, is they're always practicing these drills at training.
And with the extension of Shannon's, so now this is his 6th season, I believe, or even 7th season this year, and so with that extension, it just shows such stability at Townsville, and it's players know when they signed half their players before the end of the season last year, so it shows stability, it shows players want to go there, they've got faith in the coach that they're going to learn, they're going to improve, and it's really great that he was recognized and rewarded with an extension, a 3-year extension.
I couldn't agree more, and I think what's so important, especially as a player, is you're buying in to what the coach is putting out there on the floor, on the scout, your X's and O's, the culture you bring. And we see, you have 5 people averaging double figures. It's not all about me, me, me. It's about the team, but this is why you're winning championships. And what a steal from Olsen. We see they're in a zone. Now they go to a full court press, and Olsen, just the athleticism from her on that play.
Crank things up a notch. Here in this first quarter, Adelaide missed their opportunity. It's an 8-point lead now to Townsville. Woods, good defense from the Lightning, but Woods fights and wins the ball back. Hands it off to Froling, a couple to beat, and she gets it done.
Well, you mentioned fun, Beck, and I think Townsville Fire, they have a lot of fun when they're playing on the court.
Coming off a 40-point win against the Caps. Their first game of round 6 at home. This is their second to close out round 6. Cox with a block.
She's second in blocks over the lead.
Just couldn't quite find the connection on that last play. It's a little glimpse too of what Lauren Cox is so great at, getting it done in the defensive end and then providing a threat up the other end of the floor as well. Here is Georgia Crouch, the interim coach for the Adelaide Lightning.
Well, interestingly for Georgia, she's sort of on the reverse end of what's happened to Karen Mitchell, because at the beginning of the NBL125 season, she recruited a whole team and then got sacked before the season even started. So, and you know, now there she is stepping in for a coach that has been replaced. So her head would be spinning, I must say.
I think you mentioned it off the top, Laurie. It's never a dull day. So you see that drop from the corner from Rabati. Nice finish.
And that's got to feel good. You saw the team on the bench all standing up, getting around her, getting this crowd going. Definitely need to keep the energy and the momentum building for the Lightning.
Oof, that just got over in the 16 seconds.
Townsville by 7 into the final 2 minutes of this opening quarter. Here goes Abby Ellis. Hands it off to Froling. Now Cox from deep, feet set. Bounces off the rim. It's won back by Woods. Through the hands of Cox and back to Ellis, and they can reset and go again. This time pops it over the top to Cox.
Great no-look pass by Abby Ellis. She faked me out and I'm on the other end of the screen over here. That was such good, precise play from the Fire.
Here's another look. A look pass. Perfectly executed.
But again, that happens because Lauren Cox really sets a screen and lets Abby Ellis get over it with freedom. You saw the look-away pass, spot on.
Fijo into the action for Adelaide. Can't quite believe the call.
Alicia Froling, a big focus of the Adelaide Lightning last time out. They don't want to keep switching. She's already up to 8 points, being Townsville's most damaging player so far.
And she's been reading the plays really well, using her pump fakes, up fakes, causing fouls. As we see Fijo just with that spark and impact off the bench, kept her dribble alive, faked the handoff to the basket.
Oh, and a wonderful steal from Talbot, takes it all the way down the floor. Good little burst here from the Adelaide Lightning.
It's a really good couple of plays from Lightning. That'll really spur them on.
Margin got out to double digits. It's now back to 5. Final minute of the opening quarter. Ellis to Soa. She fires for 3. It's no good. And Rabati cleans it up. I want to finish this final quarter in a flurry here, the Lightning. Fijo to Rabati. She's wide open for 3. Can't get the finish. Ellis over the top to Froling. They share it around. Soa makes a move against Lockridge. She gets fouled.
That ball just popped around the perimeter there, and then on any sort of closeout, Soa was able to attack the paint and draw the foul.
The ball just doesn't stick, like you said, Laurie. And everyone's always moving. It never feels stagnant when you're watching the Fire offense.
Averaging 17 points per game, Mila Soa.
88% free throw shooter, so very reliable.
And with the Townsville Fire, every player is shooting at 40% or more. That is an outstanding shooting percentage. But I think this also goes to show in the offense, their shot selections are correct. They're shooting the right shots within the offense.
Lockridge looks to feed Tofeono. Just can't find the basket. Last play of the first quarter. And the buzzer beats Mila Soa. So a strong start here to the Townsville Fire in the opening quarter, and they lead the Adelaide Lightning 26-19 at the South Australia State Basketball Centre. Back with more in a moment. Quarter time at the State Basketball Centre in South Australia. The ladder leaders, Townsville Fire, leading the Adelaide Lightning 26-19 at quarter time. Jess Webster with you alongside former WNBL Coach of the Year, Laurie Chiswick, and two-time winner, Bet Cole. In commentary and courtside for us tonight is Will Crouch. Will, you were around the Townsville Fire huddle at quarter time. What were the key messages?
Yeah, Shannon Seabohm just wanting a better job of containment defensively, and not thrilled with the amount of dribble drive they've been able to get Adelaide so far this quarter. So he's really wanting this team to step up, not be as reactive as they go through their sets.
Thanks so much, Will. 6 Townsville players getting on the score sheet in the first quarter. Frolling leading the way with 8 points. And I guess for Adelaide's perspective, Dallas Lockridge had a wonderful first quarter. She's got the 8 points. They've also got 5 players who've got points so far in the first quarter. And they'll have to get it done by committee tonight. So it's good to see a lot of players making the most of their opportunities in the first quarter.
They sure will. They'll need every player to step up, chip in when it's their time to score, go out, be confident, know what you bring to the team. But 2 people I'd like to see get more involved right now is Sanaya Fagan. She really hasn't seen a whole lot of the ball. She's averaging 17.7 rebounds a game, as well as against Steph Talbot, who really had a breakout game so far this season.
Sanaya Fagan, 44 points in the last 2 weeks, so she certainly has found her form. And yes, if she can get going, that will certainly help Adelaide's cause tonight.
Well, the other thing Adelaide have to be aware of is that Townsville shot the 3 ball 0 for 5, and we know how they can light it up. They lead the competition in 3-point shooting at 45%, so if Adelaide can keep stemming the flow from the three-point line, run them off, contest those shots, then they'll be in good shape.
Sola sends it out of play. Possession will remain with the Lightning. Fijo to restart play. Goes to Tofeono. Back to Fijo. And they turned it over. And this is where Townsville can really make you pay. Courtney Woods runs it all the way down the floor, hands it off to Fowler.
And again, just sharing the ball. They're already on 8 team assists right now. And it just shows they're willing to give up a good shot for a great shot.
Guys, Erin Bowman is Sean Rabati. Sorry, Jess, I'll cut you off there as Sean Rabati gets the M1. I just wanted to touch on Erin Bowman. She played as a 4 when she was at college, but since coming down to Australia and playing NBL 1, she's actually turned into a 1, mostly playing as a point guard. So obviously touch is hard to come by with Dallas Lockridge playing so well, but very versatile addition to the Lightning.
It'll be interesting to see where Erin does end up playing after a few games settling into this team. Of course, it's great if you can play O and D and be that versatile 1 through 4, but I'd like to see Steph Talbot be able to go back to her natural position, Laurie, as a 3-man, because she has such a big mismatch when she versus those other guards.
Oh, she's tough to defend when she, you know, there's a lot of smaller guards in the competition, and so if she can be matched up on one of those and take the opportunity of a mismatch. But what a game for a new recruit, Erin, to come in and we see her with the ball now and finishing strongly. But it's a tough gig to come into this game and this, you know, with everything that's gone on in the last 24 hours.
She makes a good first impression here.
Sure does. Gets offensive rebound, a putback, and you can tell she's happy about it. She was playing over in the New Zealand League, and when she got the opportunity to come into the WNBL, it's been a dream of hers. So for her to come in, have an impact, and like you said, Laurie, it's such a big, heavy, momentous occasion. It's really excited to see someone fulfilling their dreams.
Of course, she's the injury replacement for Serene Sundell, unfortunately, down with an ACL injury a few weeks ago.
So another three-point shot goes missing from Soa.
Margin sitting at 4 points, and 7 at quarter time. We're looking to stay in touch. Bowman hands it off to Brazel. Now Talbot. Back to Bowman. Decides to drive herself off the left. Just had a little bit too much on it. Oh, but she gets the steal here. Can she keep it alive? It does stay alive. Can Talbot complete the play? Turns it over.
And what energy has Bowman brought into this arena with her first minutes right now? How exciting is this to see, Laurie?
You mentioned the word fun before, Beck. Sorry, Laurie, but I think Erin Bowman's going out there and just going to have a little bit of fun.
Well, she is, and it's really impressive because she could, you know, be absorbing, just feeling the pressure of the situation and that, but she's not at all.
Oh, Tofeono. She's given away the foul on Fowler.
That's something that Townsville did so well against Canberra Capitals the other game, was they just ran the floor. Fowler consistently got the ball under the basket, ran to that point of the rim. They found her with good passes. She finished, or she got herself to the foul line. Just exactly what we saw.
Steady at the line, 2 from 2. Get themselves some breathing room here, the Fire. Back out to a 6-point lead. Pressure comes from Woods to Soa. Oh, the no-look pass came off. Soa off the left.
And this full court press that Fire have thrown at the Lightning has rattled the Lightning a fair few times. So I think next time out or halftime break, you're going to want to talk about the execution of offensive.
Oh, there we go.
So we knew it was coming, Laurie.
It was coming. It was in a transition. Adelaide right now, turnovers are a real issue. They need to take care of the basketball.
Timeout here in the second quarter. Townsville 35, leading Adelaide 24. So it's a dangerous warning sign if those 3 pointers start to drop. Milasoa from the top of the arc knocks it down, and Townsville out to an 11-point lead. Only halfway through this second quarter. It's been a competitive contest so far. Fire by 7 at quarter time. See interim coach Georgia Crouch firing out some key messages.
It's a great opportunity for her to step into that coaching role when, you know, she's been an assistant. She wouldn't have expected this at all to happen. And, you know, whilst it's unfortunate for Karen Mitchell, and we certainly wish her all the best. She's done a great job in preparing the team so far this season, and the record speaks for itself. But a really good opportunity for an assistant in Crouch.
And while it never happened to you mid-season, Laurie, how do you think Georgia would be feeling coming into this, and how would you approach the situation if you were an interim coach halfway through the season? As we take a look on the Amy replay, Milasoa knocking down a triple.
Well, I did take over from Tom Marr. I was his assistant in very early days. I took over from him when he got a coaching job in the men's competition in Tassie. And I was very much keep things as they are. Let's make sure that we do, you know, we were doing well at the time, Nuttawad Inspectors, and so I kept things basically the same, very much. A little bit different in that she's come in when somebody's, you know, being removed from the situation, but it's tough. It's tough.
Let's head courtside to Will with an update from the timeouts.
Jess, unsurprisingly, that was all to draw up a press breaker, and Dallas needed to get the ball in her hands. Once she did, they were able to break through that and score a pretty easy one. Great to see Sanaya Fagan back in too. She does have 2 fouls, so that's a watch.
So much, Will. Certainly can't afford to see Sanaya Fagan in foul trouble tonight.
And like Will said there, it was the press breaker that the Adelaide Lightning really needed to get a hold of. And now they can build this momentum with a couple of easy fast break layups, and Fagan getting going now on the offensive end.
Well, that really started with the active hands of Brazel just to get that ball to force that turnover.
Lightning is staying in touch. Townsville share it around. Ellis to Cox. Feet set, wide open. Can't nail it. Talbot swings it across to Robati, and now to Lockridge. Looking for support. Goes back to Talbot. Works away inside. Takes on Cox. Just overcooks it.
And great D by Cox, not to foul. She just put her arms up straight and made that shot harder for Talbot and to second guess.
Soa goes herself. Rebound to Rabati. Lockridge on the 8 points. Had a dominant first quarter for the Lightning. Brazel hands it off to Fagan. Good to go to Talbot. Nice teamwork.
Really good read by Steph Talbot. Instead of popping off the screen, she recognized the switch, curled around instead, got Ellis on her back. It was a really easy finish in the end.
So as we head to a timeout here in the second quarter, Adelaide back to within 5 points of Townsville, and pre-game our very own Will Crouch caught up with Lauren Cox about her change of role this season.
Yeah, for me, it's not much of an adjustment. I have spent my career starting, spent my career coming off the bench, playing a lot, not playing much. So I'm kind of used to anything and kind of just willing to do whatever my team needs to win.
So Lauren Cox averaging the 7.6 rebounds. She was the WNBL Defensive Player of the Year. She's pretty happy with the role that she's playing in this side.
But I just think that says so much about the character of Lauren Cox. For her, she was starting last season. She was a big defensive impact. On offense, she was just as huge. And now you come into this season with, again, same core, but a couple of extra additions in the likes of Lucy Olsen, Mila Sowa. She's coming off the bench, still doing her thing, but buying into it and giving what her team needs. I think that's a massive credit to her, but a big part of why the culture and the people that you bring in is what makes Townsville so successful.
That's spot on, Beck, with what you said. And she does. She looked, you know, for an import, 2 imports to be coming off the bench, and for her to just be so chill about that and still contribute in so many ways is just fantastic to see.
Let's head courtside to Will, who was around the Townsville huddle at that last timeout. Will, what did you hear?
Shannon Seabomb's message, a really simple one, defense and turnovers. Wants to tidy it up at this end. He won't be happy with that. A turnover straight out of the timeout.
Certainly won't be, because Adelaide are coming. Looking to carry on the momentum out of this timeout halfway through this second quarter. Brazowa, it's been picked off by Abby Ellis. Soa in the corner, decides to hand it off to Cox. They go to Woods. Again, we see them share it around, try and get the best look. Woods inside to Fowler. Wow.
That is so impressive. Just their ball movement, and we talked about it. It's not only the ball moving, it's player movement as well.
And just the patience. They'll have first side, second side, third side. They're not in a rush. And we see they're switching screens there, and Courtney Woods just with the great touch pass to Fowler, who again is always in the correct positions on the floor.
Up to 12 points now, Alex Fowler. She's leading so far for the Fire. Townsville by 7, which was the margin at quarter time. It's remained an even contest. Lockridge puts one up. Can't get it to drop. She works hard to win it back. Goes to Fagan, one-on-one against Cox, and she gets the roll.
That was a tough shot. She made that look easy, but a great spin move and just a soft touch finish around the basket.
Oh, what an answer by Olsen. You just can't give her any space at all.
Fagan looks to go back to Talbot, but it was well read by the Townsville defense. Last time these two sides played in round 5 up in Townsville. 34-point win to the Fire on that day. So we're looking for an improvement here. Lockridge from long range. Can't get it done. Share it around to Olsen. Now makes a move, pulls up for 2. Talbot with a rebound. 3 minutes coming up here in the second quarter for Adelaide. Just stay in touch. Rabati gets the O board, denied by Froling, keeps it alive. But it's going to be chopped off by Soa, running downhill, and it goes in.
There was never any doubt that she was going to keep going to the basket, and so she should.
Just like that, it's back out to double digits. Fagan can't make it count.
And Mila Sowa has hit a tough couple of fast break layups, 2 on that exact same side. So way to finish with contact and go up and not waiting for the foul to be called.
Into the corner for Cox. Bounces off the rim. The ref has found a foul.
Adelaide want to make sure in these last 2 minutes they really lock down defensively, just so that this doesn't blow out any more than the 10-point margin.
See what they can do here. So at a Cox. She takes on Fagan. And they get a stop. Talbot goes herself. Just misfires.
A great seal by Lauren Cox and a pass by Mila Soa. She got her body position in front, had a target hand, and a just beautifully placed pass. That is just simple basketball, but you're doing it well.
Well, and she did her work early, Beck. She ran down the floor. She got that position. She did her work early. She held that seal. Just a really great pass as well.
Turned it over. Adelaide Lightning won't be pleased with that. Turnovers relatively even. Actually, dead even. 11 each so far in this contest. Courtney Woods hands it off to Foley. Olsen. Adelaide trying to defend hard here. Back to Woods. Shot clock is ticking down. Down to 3. They've done all the good work so far, Adelaide. And they win the ball back. So here's a great Christmas present idea. Make sure you check out the official WNBL merch range featuring hoodies, tees, track pants and shorts designed for the very true WNBL fans. Scan the QR code on your screen now or head to WNBL.com.au to shop the collection and rep the W. Into the final 60 seconds of the second quarter. Townsville by 12. Adelaide will want to finish with a bit of momentum. Lockridge has been good tonight.
Again, Lockridge didn't shy away from that contact. She went into it and really forced Olsen to just give her a little bit of push, even though Cox was there ready to block it.
She went to the charity stripe for a couple.
And both teams are just really up and in, Jess. You said both teams on 11 turnovers. Both are pressuring full court. They've had hands in the lane. And that's why both teams are on an incredible 7 steals already, only in the first half. So we can tell the energy, the intensity, the pressure, it is definitely building.
They're showing they're up for the fight tonight, Adelaide Lightning. The big question is they've got to do it for 4 quarters. It's the only way if you're ever going to challenge Townsville.
Exactly right, and they've just come off a game where it went into overtime. Then you would be very emotional about what's just happened with your coach. There's a lot going on, not physically, but mentally. So can you keep it together for 40 minutes?
Cox thought about the 3. Still Fiona to contend with. Defended really well. Fijo runs down the floor and it rolls in.
Fijo doing Fijo things. She is so good on the offensive transition. Again, she made that look so easy, but over Lauren Cox's hands, pushed the ball with a nice right hook as we see here, just so Cox couldn't block that. That's an impressive move.
She's been, every time she comes in off the bench, she brings something. She brings that energy. She just brings that little bit of an X factor. And she's just so far this season been really, really impressive coming off the bench.
So pre-game, Will Crouch caught up with Lauren Cox, and this is her speaking on coming up against a fellow import, Sanaya Fagan, and also playing against some other imports across the season.
Yeah, it's fun. It's always fun when you're playing another American, but also someone that's doing so well in the league and really just playing well, finishing well, shooting well, and all that. So it's definitely going to be a challenge tonight, but I'm looking forward to it.
Sanaya Fagan with the 8 points so far tonight. She's in amazing form, averaging 17 and 7 rebounds per game. The last couple of weeks, as we touched on earlier, 44 points last week in the incredible win over Geelong. Fagan, 22.7 rebounds, 11 assists, 3 steals and 4 blocks. Certainly a day out.
And it just shows what Fagan is really capable of. And I wouldn't mind maybe look at a few different plays for her where she has the foot speed on the likes of Cox and Foley. Do you see her getting it at the elbow or at the mid-range, rip driving? Because the mismatch is there. She is a little bit shorter, but she is quicker than them.
Olsen off to Frolling. Continue to share it around. Now Olsen lets it go and she gets fouled.
Well, I was really curious to see what play that Shannon Seabaum would draw up out of that timeout for this last play of the game, and it was very well executed.
In front of Shannon Seabaum. I think I just saw him almost put his hands to his face, hoping that wasn't any kind of serious contact or injury there. Ball is okay.
Well, unfortunately, there have been a couple of injuries lately in Adelaide in that same spot, so I can understand why he did put his hands up over his eyes.
She's got the first two, Olsen. Makes it a perfect 3 from 3. So they've just undone a little bit of their hard work, the Lightning.
And what I like, there's 3 seconds left in the half. Fire's still in a full court press.
That marks the end of the opening half here at the South Australia State Basketball Centre. Townsville led by 7 points at quarter time, and they've extended their advantage here in the second. Is an 11-point lead, 47-36. Townsville aiming to improve their record to 7-1. Currently sit on top of the ladder. Adelaide, they've been good in the first half. Let's head courtside to Will Crouch, who's with their skipper, Steph Talbot.
Yeah, here with the superstar, Steph Talbot. Steph, a tough couple of days, but you've come out firing. The margin probably not as big as it suggests in 11 points there.
Yeah, the girls come out high energy. We just have a few things to clean up on defense. I think 47 points is way too many points, even for a good side like this. But yeah, tough couple of days. We're sticking together and riding it out.
What's been the main message from the coach tonight?
I think stick together, be aggressive, execute what we want on defense.
And that full court press has really caused some problems. How are you going to address that moving forward?
Yeah, I think we'll talk about our press breaker at halftime and just need a bit of poise. It's a bit of fake pressure. If we can get past it, we'll be in a good place.
Appreciate it, Steph. All the best.
Thank you. It's Adelaide trying to rally together here tonight. They've got a new interim coach in Georgia Crouch, and at halftime they trail the Townsville Fire by 11 points. They've been good in the first half. Let's see what they can produce in the third. Stay with us. Beck Cole and Laurie Chiswick are going to break down the first half after the break.
That's just our style.
Half-time at the South Australia State Basketball Centre, where the ladder leaders Townsville Fire lead the Adelaide Lightning by 11 points at half-time. It's been a great contest so far in front of a vocal South Australian crowd here at the State Basketball Centre. So a strong start to the Townsville Fire. Jess Webster with you alongside former WNBL Coach of the Year, Laurie Chiswick, and two-time winner Beck Cole. Beck and Laurie, what are your thoughts on the opening half?
Well, I have to say I'm impressed the way Adelaide came out and really, I mean, we're talking Townsville. We're talking they had a 40-point game the last time they played. And I think Adelaide have steadied enough that they're certainly still in this game. And I'm sure Townsville will talk about some things. But I have to say, given everything that's gone on, they've played quite well.
Let's take a look at the Hungry Jacks halftime highlights. Beck, what stood out to you about the opening half?
I just think the absolute clinic that Townsville Fire put on in pick and roll situations. They were finding the extra pass. They have 10 team assists so far in this first half, but also the full court press that did give Adelaide Lightning some challenges. So Steph Talbot said they'll speak about that as a group. Their press breaks for, press breaks and how to handle that. And again, it's just the poise. Again, they're a young team. How do they handle that pressure? Once you beat it, let's execute. But Dallas Lockridge, hasn't she been a standout tonight with 10 points already?
Yeah, she started so brightly too in that opening quarter. Townsville led by 7. And Adelaide managed to close the gap in that second quarter, but as good teams do, they find a way to extend the advantage. Let's take a look at Alex Fowler, the forward shot chart. She's got 12 points to her name, and Townsville have 3 players in double figures already to halftime. But Alex Fowler leading with 12.
Well, she does, and she just continues to do the things that look easy but aren't that easy. So the hard things, running the floor. She might not get the ball, but she'll attract some defenders there. So she just does those things that aren't necessarily statable, and she is just so valuable to that Townsville Fire.
Beck, let's take a look at Mila Soa's night so far in the opening half. When she knocked down that first triple, you thought, oh, here she goes, she's just warming up.
Soa has been great. One finishing with contact, as we see there on the offensive transition. She's been elite, but we all know she has such a lightning quick shot, and it doesn't matter if she's missed a couple because her next one's going down. She's got 11 points, 2 rebounds and 1 steal. And I'm nervous for the second half, ladies.
1 from 6 from the three-point line, Laurie, but if those start to drop, look out.
Well, that's right, and we know she's got a shooter's mentality, so if she gets the ball and she's ready to shoot it, she's going to let it go. And she's got great rebounders in there in Frawling, in Cox, so why not shoot it?
We've already sung the praises of Dallas Lockridge. Not only is she having a fabulous season, but she's really doing all she can tonight for the Adelaide Lightning. Beck, she's got 10 points to half-time, as you mentioned.
It's so great to see Dallas thriving in her new colours, and she's really took on that general role leading her team. But she's been really finding ways to score. Again, lights out three-point shooter, but she's so crafty around the rim as a smaller player, can get up and in, get steals here, push the ball, and also find her team with assists.
So she's the only player in double figures for the Lightning so far. They really need to get some more support around her if they're going to be any chance of winning tonight, as we take a look at the Blackmores head-to-head Lockridge against Soa.
Well, they were matched up against each other sometimes. Ellis was on Lockridge. That was really fun to watch as well. But their stats are quite similar. Soa's taken a few more threes out there, but they are both really influential for each of their teams.
So third quarter's coming up, Laurie. What do you want to see in the first couple of minutes from the Adelaide Lightning?
Well, I think turnovers is a big thing that, they want to make sure they take care of, so they're getting a good shot every single time. So take care of the ball. I'm sure they've talked about that full court press. And just continue to play with confidence and be disruptive with the Townsville Fire.
And everyone, stay tuned. We have plenty more to come. And here's the second half coming up.
I don't know you down with the bone. You're making me sweat. You're making me cold, and I love it. And I love it.
Jade, Melbourne, take one. So Kayla, take one.
Okay. This is my 4th season in the WNBL. I'm looking forward to really turning it up.
I want to be known as one of the greats in the sport, and I think I can be.
Oh, thank God.
The way I challenge myself to get better every day, I can do anything that I set my mind to.
So I've got a basketball in my bedroom, go to bed dreaming about making threes.
She's got Hollywood star X Factor.
Bye, everyone.
So I knew about the custom island adoption when I first got into the family, and so it wasn't like a real shock to me that she wanted to gift us with a child. It's so much more common than we think.
It's a big opportunity for people to see us off the court and how we are.
If Nards has a long black before a game, you know she's dropping 30.
There's a crop of players that are ready for their opportunity.
The future's unbelievably exciting.
I feel sick nervous.
Oh, the shoe! All right, let's get it.
I think it's cool for other South Sudanese girls to see us and be like, I want to play the WNBL. In our culture, it's not normal for what we're doing.
A lovely moment, the two Potts sisters.
Makeup! Everybody knows the importance of this game.
Well, it's the first of its kind series, taking fans inside the lives, pressures and passions of the athletes driving one of the world's premier women's basketball leagues. Created by Emmy-nominated director and founder of the Empire Agency, executive producer Shauna Keogh is courtside with our very own Will Crouch.
Yeah, guys, I'm with the mastermind behind the docu-series Beyond the WNBL. Shauna, thanks for joining us. Can you tell us a little bit about the inspiration for this great series?
Yeah, I mean, if you just look out on the court tonight, you can see the inspiration. I've always been a massive advocate for women in sport and to create more exposure for it. And I was very lucky enough that Victoria Denahome and the WNBL want to support the project and give me the access. And it was an amazing opportunity to tell their stories off the court as well as on.
And it feels like a great time for this series as well, given the WNBL just seems to be going from strength to strength with the ownership and the rebranding of teams and the attendance at all these games and viewership as well.
Absolutely, and I think, you know, it's really important that people get to see who these athletes are on and off the court. And, you know, looking at a documentary series like this and seeing their personalities and then coming to attend the games, you know, that's a great way to support women's sport. So it was such a great opportunity, great timing. Across the world, even with the WNBA, you can see that women's sport is continuously rising. And I'd seen the talent in Australia, and I really wanted to be part of that storytelling piece. And I was very lucky to get supported to do it.
Now, you spoke to Kayla George, Jade Melbourne, Nadia Potts, Shanice Swain. Who did you most enjoy working with?
Oh, no, they were all fantastic. And honestly, it was all the clubs as well that helped, and the teammates. Everybody had such a diverse story, and I thought that was fantastic, you know, to give that opportunity to tell very varied stories, all in different stages of their careers.
Well, Shauna, thanks for your time. Big second half coming up.
Thanks so much, Will. Certainly exciting times in the WNBL. It's Beyond the WNBL 4-part docu-series. Laurie Chiswick, you're at the launch of this docu-series during the week. Tell us all about it.
Oh, it was a bit of fun. Some good popcorn there, too, while we were watching it, but it was just so great to see the behind the scenes, and I was really impressed with the fact that the players really opened up their lives outside the basketball court and were filmed and were so genuine in the way they did it. And it was fun to be there with a few of the players. Kayla was there with little Pearl at the launch, and I think it's just a wonderful idea and great for fans.
Certainly is. So we've got the third quarter underway here at the South Australia State Basketball Centre. Townsville by 11. So can she find her range from outside the arc? That'll feel good.
Well, it will, because they were only shooting the ball at 17% beyond the arc. So that's a really good start, positive start for SOA and Townsville.
And I called it. I said I was nervous, ladies, going into this second half, and so I hit him one right before the halftime break.
Just like that, it's out to a game-high 14-point lead. That one can't bounce in. So just the start the Fire would have wanted, not the start the Lightning would have liked to have seen. Oh, Woods just couldn't quite find the finish.
but she wins it back. Again, they share it around. This time, Ellis has Lockridge to contend with. Goes to Fowler, and Froling finishes it off.
Again.
Yeah, no, go back.
Just the execution on the pick and roll is a masterclass, and then the extra pass. Everyone just knows the exact places they need to be in, Laurie.
Exactly what I was going to say. Just the movement off the ball. And if you're Adelaide, you can't for a second lose vision of your player because they are gone. They're cutting, and they have such good connection. It's really nice basketball to watch.
5 unanswered points to start the third quarter. So they're making their move, Townsville. What Adelaide got in response? Vardy comes up short.
I have to say, when Will asked who was your favorite player to interview, I think, isn't that like asking who's your favorite child? I don't think you can really do that. Good answer.
It certainly was. Wood steps through. Misfires.
But like you said, it's so great to get to know the players behind the scenes. They're more than just athletes, they're human beings. It's so great to know their stories because everyone has such a different reason for basketball, why they're playing, who they do it for. And for the fans, you get to know the people. We have such amazing role models. Now you're way more excited to come watch our brand of basketball. So I'm super pumped for this 4-part doco series.
Absolutely, well said, Beck. It's certainly something that the WNBL needs. Super exciting times. So we see a foul call.
I have to say that Townsville have really stepped up their defense in this first part of this third quarter. Adelaide really haven't had a good look at the basket yet, and you know, we can see Fowler there challenging the closeout, going hard to the basket. Now she finds herself at the foul line.
Laurie, I'd be curious who your favourite is of those 4 players, but in seriousness, Alex Fowler, hasn't she just become such a revelation in this competition? She's up to 14 points if that one drops, which it does, and in serious contention, you would think, for whatever the next big Opals tour is, looking at the World Cup next year.
Will, I thought you were going to ask me who my favorite child was. I wouldn't be able to say that on air.
But to his point, Alex Fowler, I mean, she's just getting better and better.
She sure is, and she was the most recent Asia Cup MVP for a reason. And it's players like her, when you make an Australian Opals lineup, who do all the small things, are versatile, plays offense just as well as she plays defense, and I can't wait to see her keep growing and in her role.
Her efficiency at the Asia Cup was off the charts. Just the amount of presence that she had when she was on the court. And she goes about it in just such a, you know, it's not a superstar way or pumping. She's very even-keeled, very good demeanor.
So no frills kind of operator. As we see Ellis hit the floor. Teammates bring her to her feet. Some concern shown. Let's take another look.
Oh.
Oh. Good news is she's to her feet, but wouldn't have. I think Sanaya Fagan just accidentally stood on her opponent.
She immediately, to her credit, she immediately did look at her to see if she was okay.
Townsville have really made their move to start this third quarter. Adelaide haven't scored, and Townsville have put an additional 7 points on the board.
And that will be Dallas Lockridge's 3rd foul. So interesting to see how much longer she stays out there in this third quarter. But right now, she's bringing their scoring power and is their main point guard.
For 10 points, the only player in double figures. As Courtney Woods makes a move.
And we just see that of Courtney Woods over and over. The control she has of her body when she goes. She's not explosive, but she's just so efficient and effective when she goes to the basket.
Timeout here in the third quarter. Townsville have made their move. They now lead by 20, 56-36 over Adelaide. It's now danger signs, Beck and Laurie, for the Adelaide Lightning now.
It is, and I just want to speak off the back of you, Laurie, and Courtney Woods. She just is doing it everywhere. Another player where she just stuffs the stat sheet, and she's leading the league in just over 7 assists a game. That's why she's one of the best pick and roll guards in the league right now. She's also 5th in the league for steals and is averaging 15 points, which is 2nd for her team in Townsville. She just does it everywhere, and again, she's so poised, Laurie, like you said, not necessarily the quickest, but the way she moves her body, reads the play and the plays in front of her, it's so impressive.
And that's why I find, too, for the whole team, there's no sense of panic as that shot clock's ticking down. They're very poised and really know where each other are.
So as we exit a timeout here in the third quarter, Townsville by 20. Our very own Will Crouch, who's courtside for us today, was around the Lightning huddle at that timeout. Will, how are they going to claw themselves back into this one?
Well, quick 9-0 run there. The main feedback from the coaching staff, they've got to stop doing their defensive side of play half-baked. They're not getting through their full rotations. Got to go all out here.
Townsville applying the pressure. Talbot finds her way through. A much-needed bucket for Adelaide.
Well, and a much-needed bucket for Talbot. She's only on 4 points. That'll make her bring her up to 6. So she needs to have more influence in this game if they have a chance of bringing this margin down.
And we said she needs to be more selfish. She needs to get those shot opportunities, Laurie, and she has only had the 7 shot attempts tonight. Which, look, if you've had 32 points, you're going to be heavily scouted for the next game. And she's an Opal WNBA player for a reason. But like you said, Laurie, she needs to get going.
Courtney Woods just a... Talbot slip, or did potentially maybe Courtney Woods step on her as well? It's a little bit ginger, but she's okay. Talbot, aggressive pass looking for Lockridge, but it's knocked out of play. This is just the replay of the incident, but yeah, feet just getting tangled up. Everyone's okay. Steph Talbot. And there's a foul.
And I think the Townsville Fire have done a great job defensively on Sanaya Fagan in tonight's game. They've made her job really hard inside. Fagan hasn't been able to have the same impact that she has in other games. What have your thoughts been on Fagan tonight, Laurie?
Well, I agree. You know, she was so influential in that game against Geelong, that overtime win. And I think coming up against Froling, as we can see Froling just outrunning her in that instance there, she just hasn't been able to post up where she wants it, demand the ball where. Townsville have just been too good at defending and making her life a lot more difficult.
Here she is with ball in hand, Sanaya Fagan, handing it off to Lockridge. Gives it back to Fagan, off the left, and that'll be a little confidence booster.
It sure will. She is such a talented player. 5th in the league with 1.5 blocks a game. We mentioned earlier, 17.7 rebounds a game. And she's so young. She just came from the LA Sparks in the WNBA, where, again, a role player there out of college. But she can do it on both ends of the floor. But Alicia Froling, she has been on another level tonight. She's been super impressive and such an impact on the inside presence.
We get a replay of Sanaya Fagan there. And Froling heads to the line for the N1. But make sure you download the free WNBL app to catch every score, story and stat. It's the fastest way to stay courtside with the WNBL. Scan the QR code on your screen now. That lead back out to 20. Here goes Steph Talbot. Hands it off to the debutante in Aaron Bowman. He gives it to Fagan. Didn't have enough on it. Woods finds her way through, sends it into the corner for Soa.
See, I really like that with Soa. They're so conscious of her as a three-point weapon that they close out, they have to close out long, and then she has the presence of mind to be able to punch it in on that closeout.
Fagan misfires, margin now at 22. But Fagan, speaking about her her growth a little earlier, she's got the 10 points tonight. She's only had one game this season where she's had less than 10. That was in round 2 when she had 9 points. So consistently posting some good numbers. And that's what players like her come to this league for, is that opportunity to learn and grow, and you're going to learn plenty when you're coming up against this Townsville Fire outfit at the moment.
You sure are, and we've had many WNBA players who have come into this league, worked and developed their game, and gone back to the WNBA better players, and I think it's such a great stepping stone, and it proves why the WNBL is one of the greatest leagues in the world.
So they've dominated this third quarter as Soa knocks it down for 3. This margin continues to grow.
Again, that's just such easy pick and roll with Cox rolling hard to the basket. She draws that defender and then just wide open shot for her teammate at the three-point line. Good response from Fagan.
And Courtney Woods has made 3 different decisions out of those last 3 pick and rolls. And they've been the exact right one. Get the ball in her hands because she can make the right decision.
Lockridge into the corner for Talbot. It's no good. Frolling cleans it up.
Well, you know, we sing the praises of Townsville, and their stat line as a team is, as we see Courtney Woods just driving comfortably to the basket. But they are first in field goal percentage, first in three-point percentage, in assists, in points per game at 90. So they are just, and they're the best defensive team. They're certainly the benchmark.
Right now, who's their best challenger in the comp, Laurie?
Well, I'll be interested to see the next time they play Perth with their new import, Han Xu, who we know has arrived in the country. It's so exciting. We're going to see her this round. And so Perth will, you know, we'll see what Perth has, but they've got to make sure that they take care of business with Soa.
Beautiful shot of Soa on the Amy replay.
Again, look at this pass from Woods with her left hand, and then Soa. Money.
Money.
So the only loss that Townsville have had this season was against the Flyers in their first game of round 3. They played Perth in their second game of round 3, won by 9. It was one of their lowest winning margins of the season. They beat Bendigo by 8 points in round 1, but as you mentioned off the top, their average winning margin is 25 points for the season. Their last 3 weeks has been 33 points.
Yeah, a 25, a 34, and a 40-point win against Canberra. So they are just getting better and better as the season goes on.
But what's impressive as well with that is it's not like they get up by those margins and stop playing or go into bad habits. We saw at the end of that first half, they were still in their zone with 3 seconds left in the clock. Sorry, in their full court press. They're still going full court defense. They want to execute plays. Shannon will still call a timeout if he thinks they're not doing the right thing. And that's what also makes a championship contending team, is you're doing all the basics right for a full 40 minutes.
Well, so even that's an example from Cox. She couldn't get the rebound cleanly, but she did enough to just knock it to her teammates.
Olsen, shot clock ticking down, and good defensive setup there by Adelaide. They win the ball back. Let's head to Will, courtside.
Guys, Courtney Woods has just come to the bench, but very much on a double-double watch tonight. She's up to 8 points, 7 assists, and a plus 25 when she's on the floor.
Outstanding, isn't she, Courtney Woods? She was on triple-double watch earlier this season, and they benched her for the last 2 minutes of the game, so I wouldn't want to see that happen again. Here goes Fijo for 3. Cox hands it off to Ellis, who runs it down the floor. Final 90 seconds of this third quarter, a dominant one by the Townsville Fire as Ellis makes a move. Fowler. Great work by Tofeono. Pops it over the top for Rabati. Townsville win the ball back.
It was the right action. It was a good look, the high-low action, but just was probably in the key a little bit too long, or was holding and it didn't go well, but it was the right look.
4 players in double figures for Townsville. We've still got a quarter to play after this. Soa leading the way with 19. Here she is, giving it off to Fowler. Go to Ellis, now in the direction of Cox. It's an offensive foul.
And Ella doing a great job on those last 2 play phases of standing strong, using her stature, making it hard for the likes of Fowler and Cox inside. And again, that's another big presence that Adelaide can put in and really change up their lineup.
Tofeono, Talbot, Fijo, Strawbridge and Brazel on the floor at the moment for the Lightning. Soa, Froling, Cox, Ellis and Olsen. 40 seconds left in this third quarter. The margin was 11 at quarter time. As Brazel finds her way to the line. It's really important for Adelaide, you would think, Laurie, just not to drop their heads. They've still got a quarter to play. They're really competitive in the opening half. They've let it slip here in the third, but they want to somehow find a big effort in the last.
Well, they do, and I think, you know, so we have to be realistic. Karen Mitchell has coached them to a 3-4 record, and they've played some good basketball. That overtime game against Geelong was just an excellent game of elite women's basketball. And the thing they're known for under Karen was they rebounded, they ran, they played hard defensively, they never gave up. And so those traits aren't just going to disappear. They're going to stay with them, and they've been ingrained in them by Karen. And so, yes, a new coach takes over in Georgia, but those things don't just all of a sudden disappear.
So I can't put the exclamation mark on a dominant third quarter, but as we turn for home, the Townsville Fire, they're on their way to a 7th win in WNBL26. They lead the Adelaide Lightning 69-45. We've got the final quarter coming up after the break. three-quarter time at the South Australia State Basketball Centre. It was a quarter dominated by the Townsville Fire. They really made their move. They put on 21 points to 9 to turn an 11-point advantage at halftime to 24 by three-quarter time as we get the final term underway. Jess Webster with you alongside former WNBL Coach of the Year Laurie Chiswick and two-time winner and former Flyers captain Beck Cole. And our courtside reporter for us tonight is Will Crouch. She was around the Adelaide huddle at three-quarter time. Will, what did you hear?
An emotional message being they have to keep playing. Echoed multiple times. The margin is about 22 points at the moment, but they're not going to go lying down tonight. It's been a tough week, and they're going to throw everything at this last quarter.
Thanks so much, Will. One more quarter for the Adelaide to play.
And that's the exact trait that we talked about, that they're not going to stop. They're going to play this game out.
Got the first bucket of the last. They get a stop here. Another fabulous crowd in attendance, it must be said, here at the State Basketball Centre. They've been getting wonderful crowds supporting the Lightning all season. Brazel fires for three. Following with the rebound. So sixth for tonight. Alicia Foley. Hands it off to Ellis. Now feeds Cox. Just didn't get the roll she was after. See if Adelaide can punish them. As we see a foul call. Life doesn't get much easier for Adelaide coming up next week and take on the defending champions Bendigo in a round 7 clash. As we see Fagan for 2, that one drops. Good start to this final quarter.
She was looking around to see who she could pass it to, and there really wasn't any option, so she decided to just shoot it. And she's good from that range.
Here's Ellis to Cox to provide a steady up for the Fire. Yes, got it.
And Cox was due to hit a three-point shot as well.
Yeah.
She had nice open shots all game. But again, pick and rolls, no rush. Olsen again with a steal there, goes down the other end. And Adelaide, we said they have to keep fighting. There was one or two players who made it over half court. You have to keep pushing and fighting back.
Fagan, 2 in a row.
So now if you're defending her, you really, once she shoots that shot, you've really got to get up closer. Twice she shoots that shot, it shouldn't happen again.
And once she gets her eye in, if her pivot foot is set, you know that's going down.
She started a little slow tonight, Sanaya Fagan, but she's really worked her way into this contest. She's got 16. She's now leading the way. Lockridge is on 10 points for the Lightning. Townsville, as they do pretty much every week, they've got multiple plays in double figures. So on the 19. Fowler Frolling 14. Olsen's now up to 12. She's put together a nice night. She averages the 11 per game. Cox goes to Woods. Adelaide, have they turned it over? Strawbridge fighting to keep it alive. It's in the hands of Steph Talbot to Fagan. Has to contend with Cox. That's not easy. She gets it done.
You see, that's the difference. That's the problem with Fagan, is that now Cox said, okay, I've got to get up closer and carry a hand, and Fagan certainly has the foot speed to beat Cox.
Stolen away from Woods, and then Fire still back. They can look to settle things here. Adelaide certainly have come out in this final quarter showing some hunger and intent.
And I feel like you can see Fagan in this second half has something in her eyes that I feel like wasn't there in that first half. And when she plays with this intensity, you can't stop her. Like you said, she has that mid-range, so good for a 4-5 man. But then she's so quick with that speed and can finish inside.
Frolling's putting together a fine night.
Both teams have 17 and 16 turnovers, and that's not something the coaches will be particularly happy with. You need to take care of the ball, value possession.
Where do you see Townsville getting better, if they can get better? Like, is there any areas of the game, Laurie, that you think they need to clean up on? It's okay if the answer is no.
Well, I don't right now. I just think that they've got depth. They're shooting the ball exceptionally well. You know, free throws. You know, turnovers, yes, they're third in the competition. So I guess they could clean up that area, so they'd become #1 in that as well.
There's Olsen, steps around Brazo. Rare miscommunication, you think, in the Fire offense.
I also think Olsen had an open three-point shot that she can happily knock down. So one too many extra passes on that occasion.
We found a flaw.
We found a flaw. Well, do you think, Beck, that sometimes when you have a big lead, you're a great team, you tend to almost give up those shots for your teammates, and everybody's doing that. So, you know, that can lead to a few problems. But really, let's be serious. It's not that big of a problem.
Fijo for 3, owns a moment.
Okay, Fijo with the sidestep into the 3. That was a nice little move.
It's back to within 20, now out to 22, thanks to Courtney Woods.
Woods is just giving all class today. So patient, reading her defenders so well, making it look just so easy.
Fagan into the corner for Lockridge.
Really good defense by Ellis. You could just see her pulling her hands back so she didn't draw a foul at all.
Rolling over the top to Fowler. Off the right, she gets the O board.
She's just statting
the
stat sheet right now with O boards.
And you can tell she's frustrated there, missing easy shots she knows that she can make. But as we see here, Fijo with a nice step back into that three-point shot. And again, just a great burst of energy whenever she comes off the bench.
There is the interim coach, Georgia Crouch, stepping in for her first game for the Lightning tonight. She's seen some positives from her players tonight. Obviously, we know this Townsville Fire outfit just have so much class.
I don't know, when you look at Townsville's last few wins, do you go if you only lose by 20? That's a good result against Townsville, who are the benchmark. You know, you would definitely still take positives out of this game.
Well, it's official. The answer is heading to Perth. NBA legend and cultural icon Allen Iverson will be at the Hoops Fest from January 15 to 18. He's an 11-time NBA All-Star, a 4-time NBA scoring champion, an inductee into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame in 2016. And he was the NBA's MVP in 2001. Do not miss out. Grab your tickets now at hoopsfest.com.au or scanning the QR code on your screen. Laurie, do you remember your first game as coach in the WNBL?
Yes, I do. I do remember, because like I was saying, I took over from Tom Marr, and I remember we were in Tasmania. Tasmania had a team then, and yeah,
memories of it?
Well, my memories of it was that Tassie called the first time out, and I was like, oh my goodness, what am I going to say? I don't really have anything to say, because we were playing great. But no, I just remember being really nervous about it, and once it was finished, so it was just a great opportunity, and I'm sure that Georgia would be feeling that exact same thing. As once you get into the game, you get into it. But I'm sure she would have had some nerves to begin with.
You're certainly not short of a word at the moment, Laurie. These days, for sure. We love having you in commentary.
No problem with timeouts now, that's for sure.
Sproling continues to add to her tally. 19 points and 8 rebounds now, so she's on double-double watch. We've got just over, or just under 4 minutes left in this one. Fagan goes in the Talbot direction. Nice move, Steph Talbot. All class.
And that's a look she can do. As a three-man, she's a lot taller than a lot of the other guards in the league, and she can just shoot right over you as well as she has great footwork. She's just such a versatile player, but great post up there.
Let's take another look on the Amy replay. Steph Talbot in full flight.
And again, Adelaide now, they still want to be aggressive on defense, but they're on 5 team fouls, so they just want to make sure that they're clean.
They're just getting the dribble penetration to the basket right now is just very easy for Townsville.
27-point lead. It's 24 at three-quarter time. Rolling with another rebound. 19-9. I say it every week, we sound like a broken record. You shut down one, another one pops up, and that's a game-winning performance.
Well, again, 5 players in double figures right now.
Alicia Froling coming off an equal season high of 14 points against the Caps in their massive 40-point win. So this is a new high watermark for Alicia Froling this season. So Townsville will now head home for a stretch of 3 games in a row against the Flyers, Sydney and Perth. Started with 5 consecutive away games. We'll just spend a little bit more time at home in the coming weeks to settle into the season. Building nicely indeed. Tapayono can't find a finish. It's going to be a Townsville ball.
And you can tell the Lightning ladies are just getting a bit frustrated with some of these calls here. But again, just stick together, control what you can, keep working hard, speak to each other, and finish this game on how you want to go into the following game. And again, they did such a great job in overtime, getting that win against the Geelong Venom. Finish off these last few minutes here tonight strong, and you'll go into next round feeling super good about what you've done this week.
Potential burgers.
Nom, nom, nom.
No, Alicia Froling was not going to let that happen.
I can't anyway. It's not cheat day. It's only Tuesday.
I don't know, Beck. I reckon you might sneak a little burger on the way home. I won't tell anyone. 2.5 minutes to play. It doesn't get any easier for Adelaide next week. They take on the defending champs, Bendigo. It's the first game up. Bowman heading off to Tapayono. Sit back. Shot clock's ticking down and they lose it. No, it's a foul.
So I did the right thing, creeping around, trying to get that steal. Just got part of the arm when she went for the ball.
So great to see another full house here at the South Australia State Basketball Centre. They've really gotten around their side so far in WNBL26. It's great to see. Freers onto the floor for the Lightning. This is Brazel off the right. It's no good. Steal it back. Brazel this time with the finish.
And Bowman has just had a great first game here in the WNBL. She's just brought so much energy off the bench and really hasn't been scared at all. She's grabbed this opportunity with 2 hands.
Here's Brazel. We see some of the bench players into the action for the Fire. So Froling, Forster, Crichton, Ellis and Van Ness out there at the moment. Adelaide represented by Tapayono, Bowman, Freer, Fijo and Brazel. Fijo didn't quite get the roll. And that is rebound number 10 for Alicia Froling. Double-double for her tonight. 22 points, 10 rebounds. Final 90 seconds. Townsville by 28. Crichton misfires 4-3. Forster it was, my apologies. Grace Bowman comes up short.
That's always good to see players get some minutes at the end of a game, and you know, anytime you can get some miles in the legs, it helps, because you just never know what's down the track. And they train hard, you know, they put in the effort just like all the other players, and so it's really good when they get the opportunity to hit the court.
Is Abby Ellis at the line?
She's an 88% foul shooter.
First points for Abby Ellis tonight. She's pushed the margin out to 30. Last minute of this contest. Coming off a 40-point win against the Caps. They've been absolutely dominant in recent weeks. In particular, the Townsville Fire on their way to a big win here tonight. Into the corner for Froling. She's had a great night. Wanted to hand it off on that occasion, but it didn't quite come off. I think it's an Adelaide player last, so Townsville will retain possession. Oh, wonderful work. Here's a moment in her first game for the Adelaide Lightning. Erin Bowman with the steal and finish. A late highlight for the Lightning. And win it back again as the seconds tick down at the State Basketball Centre. For the last play of the night, Freya with a late bucket. And it's full time here at the State Basketball Centre. The Townsville Fire make it 7-1 to start WNBL 26. Another fine performance from the competition frontrunners tonight. 90-64 the final score, led by Alicia Froling with 22 points and 11 rebounds. So it's been a tough 24 hours for the Adelaide Lightning, as they parted ways with their coach, Karen Mitchell, and there's Georgia Crouch, the interim coach, taking the reins for the first time tonight, and they came up against a Townsville Fire outfit firing on all cylinders.
Well, you know, it was a tough, it was going to be a tough ask regardless who was coaching it, but to come up against them after that tumultuous 24 hours was tough. And I thought Townsville showed a lot of professionalism, that they kept going and played the way that they normally would.
So Alicia Froling, as we mentioned, she was one of their best tonight. 22 points, 11 rebounds, and she's courtside with her very own Will Crouch.
Yeah, massive double-double for the skipper of Townsville and a 26-point win. You must be stoked with what you're able to do on the road.
Yeah, it's been a big week. Pretty quick turnaround from Saturday and some travel. But yeah, you know, the first half was a bit shaky and we'll go back and probably learn from that, but really proud of how we responded in that second half.
A couple of really big wins in the last week for you. You must be pleased with the ability to keep your foot on the gas until that last buzzer.
Yeah, and it's something that we're trying to be more consistent at, is trying to do that over 4 quarters. Probably didn't do that perfect today, but you know, it's good that we can, you know, finish out games. Yeah, and just hopefully keep building.
That full court press that you guys threw in, that really turned the tide of the game. Is that something that you've had up your sleeve for a little while? Is it something that you had specifically for Adelaide? Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, we just have lots of stuff ready to go, and we I think Shannon throws out when he feels like it's needed, and obviously worked. Credit to our guards and that. It's easy being the big sitting back in the back court. But yeah, they did an awesome job of that.
And what about Shannon as well? It seems like his brain is just endless with plays, designs, all sorts of different things. Can you speak what he's like as a coach when he's throwing stuff like that in?
Oh, he's hands down the best coach in Australia. yeah, just the tweaks and adjustments he makes, and he stays really calm, and I think we all feed off of that, so it's really good.
Awesome. Well, Alicia, thanks so much for your time. I think we're going to grab your teammate Mila straight in. Mila, congrats on a great win. You must be stoked. 7-1 now to start this season. You must be thrilled with how things are going.
Yeah, we're pretty happy with our start. Adelaide really came out in that first half, so it was a bit of an ugly game, but we were able to pull through. So yeah, we're happy with that. But there's plenty to learn from the game, I think.
And for you, your scoring has just been electric this year. I think one of the league's leading scorers at the moment. Your ability to just keep attacking is one thing that I think you're probably up at the best at in the entire league. How pleased are you with your ability and the results that you're getting from that so far?
Yeah, I think, it really comes from Shannon and my teammates. They find me when I'm open, so it's my job to knock it down. And then, yeah, I think just hard work always pays off. I say, whether short-term or long-term, so yeah, just got to keep working, but yeah. As
a guard, do you enjoy those full-court presses when you get those easy buckets?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's good. We've got a great team. Lucy's got super long arms, so she's awesome up there, and yeah, I love pressuring, so no, it's good pressuring up the court.
And just a word on Shannon. Keely just called in the best coach in Australia. What's it been like playing for him? Your first season up in Townsville.
Yeah, I can definitely second that. Yeah, definitely best coach in Australia. Yeah, he's just so knowledgeable. He used to be a player, so he just knows the game inside and out, and I'm learning so much. And I think, you can see it in the plays that he's developed, especially like Woody. She's gone strides each year, Abby. So yeah, that's one of the main reasons I came over here to learn from him.
And Courtney Wood, she's just been electric this year as well, constantly in that triple-double watch. Tonight it was double-double watch, but she's just been such a great player for so long. What's it like, you mentioned her, playing for the first time with her in a WNBL environment?
Yeah, she's our captain. I think she's a great captain. She's pretty poised, which I think is awesome since we're one of the youngest teams in the league. And she just reads the game really well. I think Shannon's taught her that, and she just executed. She makes the right plays, and yeah, it's awesome. She finds me a lot, so yeah, my job to knock it down, but now she's a great player.
And just finally, another teammate, Alex Fowler, hasn't she been good? Building on that massive Asia Cup campaign too.
Yeah, Fowler's so efficient, she just does the little stuff and does her job so well. Yeah, she's a crucial piece for us, and yeah, again, display what she can do tonight.
Love your work, Mila. Thanks so much, and congrats on a great win.
Oh, thank you, appreciate it.
Great stuff, Will Crouch. So second highest tally for Mila Soa tonight with 21 points. So second highest tally for the season for her. And a season high for Alicia Froling, 22 points, 100% from the field as well, plus 11 rebounds to go with it. So between the two of them, gosh, they were dominant tonight.
They absolutely were, and they just, they looked for each other. Froling just did all the hard work. She was the recipient of some great passes. Fowler, right place at the right time. The movement, the chemistry looked really good.
We've mentioned it multiple times, Beck, but the connection that we see out there between Townsville Fire is just elite, top-notch.
It's unmatched. They're always getting so many team assists, and they give up a good shot for a great shot. And it shows when you're averaging 5 people in double figures every game.
So they had the 5 players in double figures again tonight. Froling 22, Soa 21, Fowler 14, and Woods and Olsen on 12 apiece. So another satisfying win for the Townsville Fire. They move to 7-1, and they will head home. For the next few weeks, they take on the Flyers, Sydney and Perth as well. Let's head back down courtside to Will with a very special guest.
Yes, my wife and the standing coach for the Adelaide Lightning, Georgia Crouch, down here. Obviously a tough result and a very short turnaround, but how did you feel getting out there and working with the girls today?
Yeah, it was great. I think the most important thing is that the girls played 40 minutes as hard as they possibly could. Playing Townsville after 24 hours is probably the toughest ask we could have had, but I'm really proud of the way we went about it, and I think that holds us in good stead moving forward.
The messaging was in that going into that last quarter, just keep playing, and you touched on it, but how proud of the team were you for being able to push it to the very end there?
Yeah, really, really proud. I think they're an excellent bunch of young women who want to put their best foot forward, and my job is to just help them do that every time they step on the court.
Well, Gee, thanks so much for your time. Well done. Tough loss for the Adelaide Lightning tonight, guys, but we'll throw back to you.
Thanks so much, Will. So Townsville by 26 points here at the State Basketball Centre. Mila Soa in fine form, as well as Alicia Froling. And they move to 7-1 to start the season. And we've got plenty more coming up after the break. Stay with us.
Well, it's a 5th win in a row to this Townsville Fire outfit, who are setting the competition alight in WNBL26. They run out 26-point winners against the Adelaide Lightning in front of another big crowd at the South Australia State Basketball Centre. So prior to the break here, Laurie Chiswick, we heard from the interim coach of the Adelaide Lightning, Georgia Crouch. So quite emotional 24 hours for the club, parting ways with their coach, Karen Mitchell. And she said it was always going to be tough coming up against Townsville Fire in her first game. But how did you see the night for Adelaide?
Well, it was going to be tough for whoever coached that. And so certainly for her first time as the step-in coach, yes, it was tough. But you know what? I give Adelaide a bit of credit because they could have just hung their heads when especially at the start of the third quarter, when they went on that run, Townsville. But they hung in there. They kept trying hard. We know that's a trademark of them. And so, you know, I give them credit.
Beck, this is the Bunnings Warehouse ladder, and as we can see, it's starting to take shape now. So Townsville on top, 7-1, as we mentioned. They're just absolutely flying.
They're just showing why they're a masterclass right now and top of the table. But we have so many games coming up, and I cannot wait to see, because on any night, it's anyone's given time.
Certainly is. So that is the final game of WNBL round 6. And round 7, well, it's going to come around pretty quickly because we've got a game tomorrow night to kick off round 7. And we look forward to that. But tonight it is the Townsville Fire by 26 points. Thanks for your company wherever you tuned in tonight, and we'll see you again soon. Good night.